Hi, my name's Peter Lindeman and I'm with Tesla Chargers, and today we're going to be talking about the Energetics 2A12. This is the little giant of a charger that's primarily for 12 volt batteries. It's a 2 amp charger, and so it's really in the, most people think of it in the class of just a trickle charger, but this has a number of other features in it that make it way better than that. First of all, it's a typical energetics charger, which means that it can take the battery absolutely to the top of its chemistry. So we talk about it as a topping charger, not just a trickle charger. And secondly, this is a pulse system, so it can give pretty significant surges of current during the charge process. So even though it looks like a small charger, you can put this on a fairly large battery and it will charge it if given enough time. So what I want to do today is I want to demonstrate how the charger works. Okay? Now, because this charger is a capacitor discharge circuitry, we don't ever want to short circuit the connections, okay, because that will just discharge the capacitor in a very high current situation, and that may damage the charger. So never short circuit the leads, okay. The second thing is that because that's true, also we want to connect the charger to the battery that's going to be charged even before we plug it into its universal supply. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect, so you can see that the charge light is on simply because I'm connected to the battery. Okay? Right now it's not charging because we don't have any power connected to it. So I'm going to set this up so we can watch what happens as the charge process starts. Okay, so we can see that this battery that we're going to demonstrate here is already at 12.71, which is essentially it's fully charged already. And I'm using a battery like this so I can show you what happens at the top end of the charge. And in other words, what will happen when the charge is finishing. Okay, so here we go. We have the charger connected to the battery, we have the battery connected to the voltmeter, and now what I can do is I can plug in the power supply to the charger, and now we can start seeing, first of all, we see the green light on the power supply, not showing, okay? And now the thing is, you can see the pulses starting to move into the battery. So we see a fair amount of numbers jumping around, but we can see that this top number is starting to rise pretty quickly as the pulses come into the battery. So we've gone from 12.71 and we're already almost at 14. We're going to be able to demonstrate what the topping event looks like and what happens to the charger as it approaches the top. So we're at about 14.5, okay, and now we're at 14.6, and now we can see what's happening is the green light is starting to flash, okay, along with the red. And what that means is that the voltage is above about, you saw on the meter was about 14.6, and now we're above 15 here, and now you can see that these are almost flashing equally, okay, and as we continue to push the voltage a little higher, we'll eventually so you can see when we're in this condition, the red and green lights flashing almost evenly, we can see that the voltage in the battery is at about 15 volts. And it can push batteries this size, it can push batteries 4 or 5 times this size to these voltages without any problem. It just takes a little longer because, again, it is just a 2 amp charger. So by the time you get up to 15 volts, you're probably a volt higher than almost any other commercial charger would push the battery, and so it's got a lot of power in it right now. But the chemistry isn't quite finished, which is why it's still working on it. But if you get it to this point, it's perfectly fine to take the charger off and use it. But if it goes all the way to a solid green, then basically the battery's pretty much finished. But one of the things I want to show you, if my assistant can get me a screwdriver, I want to open this up and I want to show you that there really isn't very much off-gassing happening even at these upper voltages. One of the reasons why most chargers don't ever want to push a battery this high is that there's a lot of off-gassing, a lot of hydrogen production, and what we might be able to see in here is essentially almost no bubbles at all, and that is exactly the point. That this charger is capable of bringing this battery to the top of its chemistry without producing almost any hydrogen and oxygen gases at all. And so that is the difference between this charger and almost every other charger available. And it also remains at room temperature. And so what that tells me is that all the energy that I'm taking out of the wall, that I'm paying for, is getting into the chemistry. None of it's being lost in heat production, none of it's being lost in hydrogen production. So this is a good demonstration of what we call a topping charger, and this is exactly the kind of equipment that you need if you want to make your battery last for a very, very long time. And because that is a requirement for longevity, it's also a requirement for taking older batteries and bringing them back to what we call like-new condition. And that's a process we call battery rejuvenation. And we have put together a number of information products which can teach you from start to finish exactly what it takes to take old batteries and rejuvenate them using this type of equipment. And those are available. There are links on the Tesla Chargers website under the banner that says Battery Secrets. And if you click on that, they talk about, there's 2 products that are talked about. One of them is called Battery Secrets, talks about the chemistry of the battery, how it works. And the other one is called Battery Rejuvenation, and it talks about how to undo the dense crystalline sulfates that build up into plates after long misuse. So we're pretty much floating right here in the 15.1 range, and so this has been a good demonstration of the 2A12. It's a 2 amp charger specifically for 12-volt batteries, primarily flooded lead acid batteries, although it can be used on small gel cells and otherwise, but it's always best to use these on flooded cells because they can handle the little bit of off-gassing at the top of the charge. So that's this charger. When you buy it, it comes with its own owner's manual, and it comes with the charger, and it comes with the power supply. And this is a universal power supply that can be used on plug-in power from any country in the world. You may have to get your own type of plug if you're in countries other than in North America. But other than that, it's ready to go right out of the box and start rejuvenating your batteries. So Again, I'm Peter Lindeman, and this is Tesla Chargers. Made of a charger that's primarily for 12-volt batteries. It's a 2-amp charger, and so it's really in the, most people think of it in the class of just a trickle charger, but this has a number of other features in it that make it way better than that. First of all, it's a typical energetics charger, which means that it can take the battery absolutely. Hi, my name's Peter Lindeman, and I'm with Tesla Chargers, and today we're going to be talking about the Energetics 2A12. This is the little jump to the top of its chemistry, so we talk about it as a topping charger, not just a trickle charger. And secondly, this is a pulse